On this video, I'm going to talk about one of my absolute favorite cities in the entire Seattle Metropolitan area. In fact, it might be number one on my list of one of the best places to live. Now, this is a bit of a hidden gem. Not many people talk about it. This is Gig Harbor. As always, I'm Bryce Greenleaf, local real estate broker here in the Seattle area. Love helping you guys out, those of you that reach out to me here from YouTube when you're making the move over and looking to buy a home. If that sounds like you, don't hesitate to reach out at my info below. But like I said, this video, I'm going to talk about one of the absolute best, in my opinion, cities in the Seattle metropolitan area. Now, this city is at the very, very edge of what's considered Seattle Metropolitan, and it's kind of a little tucked away hidden gem. Now, it's gained a lot more popularity in the recent years with the increase in the amount of remote workers and such, but it's still an area that not a lot of people talk about, and quite a few people are surprised at once they make the visit over here, check out the city, and really see how much they love this area. Now, Gig Harbor here is located about 45 minutes from Seattle, and so it's quite a bit of a stretch down here. It's on the other side of Tacoma. So part of the reason that this area has kind of stayed, like I said, a little bit of a hidden gem is because it's really not commutable to Seattle or Bellevue on a daily basis for work. Even those that work in the office 2 or 3 days a week, this is just too far for most people to make that drive. So it's kept a lot of people that have moved over here and are looking for great places to live. It's kept a lot of people from being able to buy in this area because it's just too far from Seattle. Now, Gig Harbor is known as the gateway to the Olympic Peninsula. As you go through Tacoma, over the Tacoma Narrows Bridge and enter into Gig Harbor, it will take you up the rest of the peninsula into Kitsap County. Now, when you talk about quintessential Pacific Northwest living, I don't think there's a better place in the entire Seattle metropolitan area that really encompasses all that that means. Now, there's really 4 main reasons I'm gonna go over here on why people absolutely love living here. Now, number 1 is just that. It's the absolute gorgeous scenery, feeling like you're truly in the Pacific Northwest, and just the outdoor recreation and things to do when it comes to that. So here in Gig Harbor, you are surrounded by water everywhere. Pretty much whatever side of Gig Harbor you're on, you're gonna be surrounded by the Puget Sound. If you're right in downtown, you've got the bay, you've got the marina there with this absolutely beautiful setting. And if you're on the south side of Gig Harbor, you're on the west side of Gig Harbor, you have great water views no matter where you are. Outside of just great views of the Puget Sound, you can have picturesque views of Mount Rainier all over the place. So on a nice sunny day, it's absolutely gorgeous with Mount Rainier peeking over the Puget Sound views. And you'll also have some great views of the Olympic Mountains. Outside of those picturesque mountain and water views, Gig Harbor is very wooded in certain areas. So these tall, soaring, evergreen trees that make you feel like you might be living in the woods, yet just minutes away you can access the bay or any water recreation. Now, when it comes to the quintessential Pacific Northwest living, what goes along with this is the amount of outdoor recreation there is here. On a nice warm day or even a cold day, there's some people that do this, you can launch out your kayak or paddleboard and just take a trip around the bay here and take in the amazing views on the water. You can take a tour to go whale watching if you want as well. Outside of that, because I mentioned there's so many wooded areas as well in the Gig Harbor area, you have a lot of access to hiking trails and mountain biking opportunities. No matter the time of year, you're always gonna see people out and about in Gig Harbor, walking around, enjoying the outdoor recreation, and just taking in all it has to offer. Outside of that, there's a lot of restaurants as well here. Again, right on the waterfront, some really nice places that you can eat, and it's a pretty walkable town area with some shops as well. There's a lot of folks here that live in Gig Harbor that really love to live that active lifestyle. Now, this second reason that a lot of people move here is just the quiet and overall peaceful atmosphere that Gig Harbor offers. Because you're set so much further away from Seattle and Bellevue, where all the hustle and bustle is, where all the really high paying jobs are that are attracting so many out-of-state buyers and increasing the population at exponential rates, here in Gig Harbor, it's a lot less of that. While it's still had quite a bit of growth, the population here is just under 13,000 still, and so it's still a quieter and slower paced lifestyle here in Gig Harbor. On average, the age demographic is a little bit older. Again, not as many of the young tech workers moving here into this area as there are closer to Seattle, so it keeps that demographic demographic on average a little bit older because there are a lot of retirees that live here in Gig Harbor. Now, of course, it's not just retirees. There's a lot of younger families that live here as well, especially those that might work remote or they might work further on this side. Again, here in Gig Harbor, you're just a quick drive away to Tacoma, which has some job opportunities as well. This is really a bedroom community of Tacoma. Now, here in Gig Harbor, you do feel quite a bit removed from Tacoma. If you've ever visited Tacoma and spent some time in there, you'll be surprised at how much different Gig Harbor feels just a stone's throw away over the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Now, the third reason a lot of people are really enjoying living here and are attracted to moving to this area is the more affordable home prices here in Gig Harbor. The median home price currently is $800,000. Now again, you compare this to some of the other really amazing places to live in the Seattle metropolitan area, and this is certainly on the lower end. Again, those prices have stayed lower at that point because it's not attracting all of the workers that have to be in Seattle or the Bellevue area for a job, whether it's on a daily basis or a couple times a week. Most of those people are not living in Gig Harbor, so it's kept those prices a bit lower over here. Now, with real estate, you've got a lot of different options of what you can find here in Gig Harbor. You can be right in town and get a little bit older home, but be walkable to all that the downtown area has to offer, walk to all the restaurants, to the bay, to the shops, and really enjoy that downtown area. If you want a bit more of that gated community feel, you can check out Canterwood, which in my opinion is one of the absolute best, if not the best, golf course communities here in the Seattle metropolitan area. Now, the median home prices here are going to be higher, of course, than the rest of Gig Harbor. Right now, the median home prices in Canterwood are about $1.4 million. Now, this was built up, most of these homes are 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and there's a lot of absolutely gorgeous homes. This is not just your typical new construction cookie cutter neighborhood like a lot of the new home developments are these days. There's a lot of character and a lot of great architecture in this neighborhood, and a lot of really massive homes as well, 4 or 5 plus thousand square feet, or there's some options for some smaller homes as well. But this is a really tight-knit, very clean, very beautiful gated community. And of course, right on the golf course here. And so you're gonna see people driving their golf carts all over the place. Now, maybe you don't wanna live right downtown in Gig Harbor and you don't wanna be in this golf course community. There are homes spread throughout the entire Gig Harbor area that offer a bit different lifestyles. If you want something in like Rosedale or Artendale that's got also some picturesque, beautiful views, but outside of an HOA neighborhood, there's a lot of options for that. If you want to live somewhere that's very wooded and you want 5 acres, there's a ton of properties like that as well. Or if you just want brand new construction, cookie cutter neighborhood, there's some places that offer that too. So there's a wide variety of the types of homes that you can find here. But again, that median home price here in Gig Harbor as a whole is only $800,000 right now. Again, this is early 2025. And so for a lot of people that have the budget but aren't tied to Seattle or Bellevue, they can get a lot more for their money here and feel like they're living in a really, really great community. Lastly, one of the reasons that people enjoy moving to this area is the well-rated school districts here. Most of these schools in Gig Harbor, if you'll look on the Great Schools website, the Peninsula School District, you'll see that most of these schools are rated an 8 out of 10. So again, those families coming over here, and they're also focused on being in a great school district, this often checks that box for them. All right, well, this pretty much wraps it up. Just in general, I've seen a lot of my clients, a lot of my buyers, especially those moving here from out of state that are not tied to a job in Seattle or Bellevue. Gig Harbor quickly shoots to the top of their list of places they want to move to. It just offers so much and at a more affordable price. So if this sounds like you, if you're moving over here and you're willing to explore options outside of the commutable distance to Seattle or Bellevue, definitely check into Gig Harbor. And if you have more questions or you want some help with your home search over here in the greater Seattle area, feel free to reach out to me. I would be more than happy to help. Thanks for watching this one.